Coach, thanks for doing this. It was a very dramatic end to practice today. Perhaps you could share with those of us in attendance what took place and how come.
Well, unfortunately, Johnny Forget, our head equipment manager, got COVID and is placed in protocol, so won't be able to come on the road. So one of the guys' favorites around here is Bram Karp, who does everything and anything from the guys to looking after their house to the grass in the summertime to vehicles to skates to everything. Had an opportunity to come on the road, and we put a kind of friendly wager in play that if Watson got 4 goals today in practice, that Bram could come with us. Waddy had two with very little time on the clock, and he scored the last 2-on-1 goal, and then he had 2 shootout goals and 2 shootout opportunities and scored. So it was just kind of fun for the guys. Brahmer's a guy that everyone knows around the city here, and visiting teams know him, what kind of guy he is, and he'd do anything for anyone. So it's a great opportunity that he's going to be able to help us on the road.
Fantastic story. It looked as though there were at times heated discussion between Watson and Matt Murray at the same time. So are you getting the sense, Coach, that you've had enough practice time? Guys are getting a little bit twitchy here to start playing games.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to come quick, and you're not going to have any practice. It's going to be games, especially when we get back from this road trip. And I think the guys want that. I mean, we practice plenty, and outside of a few guys that have the opportunity to still test for COVID, guys don't have that on their mind. They can just play hockey, and they can get back to doing what they love.
Pierre Dorian indicated earlier this morning that you'll have a full complement of players headed to Vancouver. Could you also just touch on some of the injured guys? Josh Brown, will he be available at all during this trip? And maybe if you can comment on an update on Colin White and Shane Pinto.
Yeah, we expect Brownie to be back on this trip. Whitey, we expect early March. Pinto is still what we think is a ways away, and we'll see, towards the end of the year if we can get him back into some games. We just hope to get healthy. Tierney and Shabbat, coming back will certainly help us. But getting Whitey back in March will be a big step for us. I mean, I think if you look at the National Hockey League, D and centers especially are so important, and this was a big year for Whitey. It's unfortunate that he gets hurt and can't play, but we welcome him back.
Lone remaining hand is from Bruce Garrett on Post Media.
Hey DJ, you anticipate though that all your guys will be out of protocol by the time you leave tomorrow?
We're not sure. Forsberg is still right on the cusp there. Hetherington's being tested today, so we're hopeful. JBD was back today as well. So we're hopeful that we're going to get healthy and Belleville will get healthy. And both clubs, even for Belleville's sake, if I could speak for Troy and his staff down there, with them getting COVID for as long as they did, and then us getting it and then taking their players, it decimates both teams. So it's not just one team. It'll be good for the organization to get back healthy and get players playing where, in proper situations and just playing a lot of games. We just haven't played a lot of games. So, it looks like everyone's going to be getting healthy at the same time, and we can finally move on and enjoy hockey.
It may sound like a broken record here, but when you only play one game in 18 days, what do you lose? As far as as far as your skills and stuff, do you lose your rhythm at all, DJ? Or
it's conditioning. You can practice as much as you want, and get reps and know what to do. But at the end of the day, when you start banging into people and fighting for every inch and pushing, at the end of a shift, you get caught out there and your heart rate, is sky high for a minute straight. Those kind of things you can't get out of practice. And that's the biggest thing, is to get back into those games. And it's, as much as it is your skills and your touches, you can get that in practice. It's the cardiovascular part that's so hard, and banging into each other. That's why you need exhibition games and things like that. You just can't get out of practice, summer hockey, whatever it is. And whatever it takes for days to get back into it. It doesn't take these guys long, but it's certainly an adjustment.
Well, and like I said yesterday, you think that can happen rather quickly. And it's probably a good thing that you're in Canada, too, that if you can't take Forsberg, you can join you out there, right?
Yeah, for sure. At some point, we're looking to have everyone on this trip and everyone available to us, which, I mean, outside of Pinto and White, which are, we knew were huge losses at the start of the year, but, it'll be nice to have everyone available, and then Whitey is going to come in, and then hopefully Pinto at the end. So, I mean, you just want to have everyone available to see where we are. We know as an organization, these young guys got to play, and you just want to see them kind of all together, and that's, an exciting part for me. And that was the unfortunate part of the Pinto injury. And, at some point we want to see them all together. And I think we got to see that a little bit last year, and I think we'll get to see it by the end this year.
And just one last thing for me, it kind of sounds like from listening to Pierre this morning, DJ, that the organization is keeping its options open a little bit with Tyler Boucher. He's down in Buffalo right now, and there's no guarantees that the OHL is going to return. Would it be good for him to get some games at Belleville if that becomes an option, that the 67s have more games postponed?
Well, yeah, I don't know what that situation is. Just happened to talk to Mark Hunter yesterday. My son's down there playing in London, and needed some tires and the things that a dad needs to get done for him, snow tires. So, and I happened to ask him, and he seems to think that the OHL is gonna play, and he's really optimistic about it. So, I'm hopeful for that, because I think that's a great spot for Tyler to be and develop right here. We can have our skills guys get involved in them. But if that isn't the case, and they do, shut down, unfortunately, certainly Belleville is an option.
We'll go to Matt Tinko at Senators.com.
Hey DJ, just very quickly, just go back to guys getting healthy. Just where's the key to the slight setback right now?
Originally, when he got hurt, I think they had told me 3 to 4 weeks, but I think it's going to be 5. He's in there every day, but he's not skating or anything. So 5, if you do that math quickly. I think he got hurt on the 17th or 16th. So if you do that, that's at the end of the month here. So I guess the only good part is that he's only missed 1 hockey game or 2. He's only missed 2 hockey games so far. So, but I think we'll see him probably by the end of the month.
No question this morning. It's back to Gordon Wilson.
Yeah, Coach, if I can just circle back to JBD, you gave him close to 20 minutes in his last game, or your last game in Philadelphia. What did you like about his game that warranted that kind of ice time?
I just thought his offensive touches on the blue line were really good in a game where we didn't have a lot of offense going. Like all young D, it takes time to learn the position, especially defense. It's much harder than wing. Center and D are the 2 toughest positions, to play in the National Hockey League as young kids. And I just thought all his touches, he was dangerous. He had shots to the net. He was involved in the game. You could see he thinks the game really well. And again, it's unfortunate. I mean, he gets COVID and he loses an opportunity. He misses, an opportunity to play. And then certainly now we have to look at, his health. I mean, he's just coming off his first practice, and what's the best scenario for him to get up to NHL speed. So, this COVID, unfortunately, is a tough thing, especially for young guys. When you're rolling, you want to keep rolling, and we'll look at everything here in the next week or so.